Hi, Mom. Happy birthday. My mom is 75 today, and I wrote this whole big blog post up, and it took me all day long. I was very emotional about it. Mom knows I'm very emotional. So I might be breaking this video up into teeny tiny sections and then stitching it all together because I wanted to tell everybody on the channel about my mom. I thought it was a good way to start out, and this is also, Mom, I want to tell you all the wonderful things about you. So, here we go. So, my mom lives at home with my dad, sister, and I. And my mom had no previous mobility issues and was in good health until she was about 70. And my parents have been married for 43 years now, with their 43rd wedding anniversary being in February of this year on the 14th, Valentine's Day. So, Mom loved to dance when she was younger. She had done aerobics in her 20s, and until she started having these mysterious mobility issues, she would go for these 3-mile walks a day, and my dad frequently walked with her, and she would do it on this blacktop track at the junior high school that was nearby. And even when it was bad weather, she would go to the mall, the indoor mall, and she would do her walk. And so that was, she was very dedicated to it. And also, a big thing is that my mom is probably the best hula hooper known to man. And we had this weighted hula hoop and stuff like that in the living room, and she would watch TV and do 2,000 rotations, and she wouldn't drop it once, she wouldn't falter. And I remember my whole life she's been like the craziest, best hula hooper. So even when I was like way young in grade school and stuff like that, they had this big like an event, for all the kids and their families, and my mom was the winner of like the hula hoop contest and stuff like that, 'cause she's just amazing at it. So yeah, Mom has got a lot of cool stuff in her history, and if she can get herself a nice reversal, then I bet you she'll be hula hooping again. And I am not good at hula hooping at all. I didn't get that gene, but that's something special about Mom. Another wonderful thing about Mom is that when she was younger, before she had kids and stuff like that, she was an LPN, and she worked at a hospital, primarily in the ICU, and she had lots of stories about that, all sorts of crazy stuff. And then when she did have kids, I'm the firstborn, and then she had my sister. She was just a stay-at-home mom, but I say just a stay-at-home mom. She was the best stay-at-home mom. And she's always been the best mom. She made sure while we were growing up, and all the way up till forever. Even now, she's the best mom. But when she was able to get us out of the house and stuff like that, she made sure that we got to go to the movies and the swimming pool. And there were like these $1 or $2 movies on Fridays at this one theater, and it'd usually be really quiet there, which was extra wonderful. But we'd get popcorn and go to the park, and Mom was always making sure that we had plenty of stuff to do and we're having fun. And that's been a wonderful thing. And I think about those things all the time. And I love those memories, Mom. Mom did go back to getting a job because she wanted to do that when we were older. So she got a job at this elementary school, which is actually where I went to elementary school, and she was the head chef there in the kitchen. So she was there at lunchtimes, and she'd prepare all the meals and serve them and stuff like that. And it was actually a lot of work, and she was not the stereotypical lunch lady that you would think of or anything like that. She was very wonderful to all the kids, and I remember there was one time, because I was working there briefly and I wasn't very good at it. I was like a cashier for a little bit. Anyway, it was one of my first jobs. But I remember she was like serving like extras to the kids who came back for seconds, and you're not supposed to do that. So I'm telling her, Mom, you're not supposed to do that. You're going to get in trouble, and they're going to keep coming back like cats looking for more food and stuff like that. And she kind of laughed it off, sort of a thing. And, it was very sweet because she wanted to make sure the little kids, who are coming back, that they had extras if they wanted extras, because you're going to throw all that food away anyway. So it was very cute. I was cute, Mom. You're always so sweet. So Mom isn't just an amazing mom, but she's been a wonderful sister and aunt and wife to my dad and daughter to her parents who aren't around anymore. When grandma was still alive, I remember this one summer she was in the hospital and she was there for a while, grandma was, and my aunt and my mom would take turns going to spend time with grandma at the hospital, and then depending on who was over there, the other sister would have all the kids. So me and my cousins got to spend a ton of time together that summer, either at our house or their house and playing games and stuff like that. But that's just another wonderful thing about how loving my mom is and was at the time. And then when grandma passed away, which was very unexpected, grandpa was beside himself and a huge mess. And I think that's where I get all my like big emotions from. I don't know if you agree, Mom, but I think so. So another great thing is Mom was there, and so was my aunt. And they'd switch off again and bring grandpa food that they'd make at home, and we get to spend time with him, and he would always watch like Jerry Springer and kind of dumb TV. No offense to anyone who likes those shows, but it would drive my mom crazy. And she never said anything to him. She would just be there full of love and keeping him company and stuff like that. And yeah, even just not complaining to grandpa about the stuff that she found like super boring was very sweet. And especially thinking about that years later, I think about how extra sweet it was because I wasn't necessarily thinking about it when I was younger. Mom was always a big cook and a baker, and she'd make Christmas cookies at Christmas time, and she'd make these giant meals, so there's always like sides and like a big entree. And my sister decided she wanted to be a vegetarian a while ago, probably when we were kids, I can't remember when, but Mom would always make like a separate version of dinner that was like vegetarian for her. So if she was making chili, she'd make like chili for everybody else and then vegetarian chili for my sister. And just always taking care of us and her and things like that. And she would also do a lot of cleaning and stuff that I know she's been on our butts about since, about not keeping up with stuff, or like telling my dad, pay the lawn, guys. It's kind of turned into this running joke because we're not as organized as Mom is. I know it's been frustrating for her that she can't take charge and get things done. But I mean, she used to make sure that I was taking my pills and getting to work on time and waking me up too early before I had to actually be up for work and stuff like that. But she still does that. She'll still make sure that everyone's up and running and reminding us what time it is, or that she needs her pills on time and things like that. So she's still the same in ways like that. Even though now she's using Toby Dynavox so that she can communicate, because she's at that point where the ALS has kind of taken away the muscles the way that they're supposed to work and they used to work for her. So that's her way of talking now. And I got some major comments about the Toby eye gaze unit, but that's for another video. But she tells us the sweetest messages, and she makes jokes, and she's so wonderful. And even like still, Mom has always been the one who knows every actor and whatnot for every movie. So to this day, I'll be like, who is that in this movie, or is this Mark Wahlberg or whatever? I was asking her the other day, and then she was like, Donnie. So I was like, oh yeah. So I mean, she's still the person to go to for that kind of information. I'm deviating from my original written script, so I'm a little bit rambly. And actually, that's something that Mom teases me about, because there was like a old doll called like Chatty Cathy, and so she'll call me like Chatty blah blah blah, my name. Anyway, and that's pretty much what she does when I'm talking too much, because I'll come in to the living room and she's got her bed out there and whatnot, and I'll be rambling, or she'll say simple explanation, and so it's funny. I love Mom. I love you, Mom. Let's see. So I'm going back to my notes here, and I'm all out of order from when I was saying that in the script. But oh yeah, so my sister does not drive, and Mom would take her to university classes when my sister was in college, and she would go there and she would bring crossword puzzles with her, and she would sit in the parking lot while my sister did her classes, and then she would drive her home, and they would be these big long days. But mom's always taking care of everybody, and she loves her family so much, and we love her too. And that's why, Mom, I know you used to at least say, you feel like a burden or whatever, and we're doing all this stuff, and there's never any reason to apologize or anything, or even think that, because we love you so much, and you've taken such good care of all of us, our whole lives. So it's our turn to do extra, to do as much as we possibly can for you, in order to make sure that you're having the best life that you can be, and be the most taken care of person, and you're the center of our whole world, and we love you. And oh yeah, so another way that Mom's always made things really special, in addition to all the rest of this, is she would always, like our whole lives, up until she mobility wise couldn't anymore, go to the store and make sure that, like, for every holiday we had something. So even if it was like little trinkets from the dollar store, just little thoughtful things for Valentine's Day or Easter, she was always doing that. And that's something that's been so special to me, that now I'm the one going to find little things for everybody for holidays, and that's something I want to do for the rest of my life for everybody, because it's such a special thing, and it's always been so special to me. And I know that if Mom was able to get up and go to the store and whatnot, she would 100% still be doing it. So I always want to make sure, Ma, that you have something special for every holiday, and every holiday is special for you, as much as I can make it for you, because that's always been something that's been so sweet that you've done for me, and I love you. Okay, I had to take a little break there to pull myself together, because I'm turning into Grandpa. I'm being super emotional. But anyway, more cool things about Mom that are wonderful is that her favorite movies include Tootsie and Independence Day, the original one, and E.T., and she would say that, like, her mom, Grandma, thought that E.T. was creepy, and I always thought that was funny. But because of that, like this past Christmas, I had found this real small little E.T., and I make sure that I tuck her into bed with it every night. And so I call it Baby E.T. We call it Baby E.T., and it's very cute. And I'm always, being playful with her with it. And yeah, I wanted her to have a little, I don't know, I wanted you to have something real special, Mom, and I think that it's special, and I like that it's like our little routine now. So no matter how you're feeling or anyone else is feeling at night, I want to make sure you even have Baby E.T. And I don't know if you notice, but there's times when you fall asleep before I come out to do it, and I always kind of tuck him in with you. And it's cute because I make sure that his head's popped out of the covers, like around, like either on her side or under her arm or something, depending on how much she has the sheets on or the blanket. And so I love that we have Baby E.T. And yeah, Mom's just wonderful. And I forgot if there was anything else story-wise I was gonna say. Mom's had ALS the past 4 years, and she's the bravest, most wonderful, strong person in the entire universe, and she always has been, and she is now. And you're such a fighter, Mom, and I love you so much, and I want to be strong like you for my whole life. Okay. And that is why I want to keep your spirits up too, because they're so close to coming to all of these new medications that are coming out. And you know that I've been doing all this research and stuff like that, and making these videos now for the channel, and I just want to remind you that all these good things are coming, and there's all this research, and everything, there's even like the reversals and stuff. I've been studying all of those, so I can tell you about all of these people who've had them, and some of them have had them at like these, like, so late and then all of a sudden something wonderful happens and there's a reversal, and I will I refuse to ever think that that's not a possibility, and I hope that you never refuse to think that too, and I'm really proud of you for okay, final stretch, mama, and this will be the last part before you start telling me how chatty I am while I'm, while we're watching the video. And yeah, I love you, and you're the best in the whole world, and I am gonna do everything that I can to help you because I can't fix everything for you. And I know I don't always seem like I'm like super with it, and dad and my sister are a little bit more attentive to certain things than I am. And I've had all these health problems, and that's been kind of extra hard to be able to handle too, and that's just for everyone else's knowledge. But the mama, I'm never gonna stop. We're gonna try this neurogenesis stuff, and I've been looking at all this research about all the stuff they're finding out about. You can grow new neurons, and there's new neurons that you can they've formed together from other neurons and stuff like that. And so my mission is to just do everything I can and let you know all the stuff that's going on, and let you know, like Dr. K said, like, he thinks in a few years they're going to have the cure, not just, these medicines to, stabilize things or whatever. And we're going to make it. We're going to make it through there. And whether or not they come up with a cure first, or you have a reversal first, or whatever is going to happen, I know that you're going to make it as, as strong as you are to beat this and fight through it, and whatever you gotta do. And we love you so much. And ta-da, rambling. Happy birthday, mommy.